talk about how the front office kind of created this mess of a season back in April and back in March and April, but really when free agency was going on and they were having a very public drama with Brandon Ayuk.
They let and I'm going to say I'm going to say John Lynch.
Yeah.
Let's be specific. Let's not mess around today. John Lynch is the general manager. He let Ayuk show up the organization, say crummy things about the organization, um, take over the narrative when it should have been about, team practices and preseason practices. When you make a team, when you create a team, they let him break apart the team. They allowed him to make the issue Ayuk, which is what you talked about every day during training camp, Iggy, as opposed to 49ers. And John Lynch, I'm blaming you. And I have something to say about football people. I have been around football people my whole adult life. And I have found there are certain ones, and I have a feeling, John, I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling they're very strong on the field. John, you are a Hall of Fame strong safety. There is no tougher player on the field. I have found a lot of tough football players are not so tough in real life. I wonder if John Lynch is not tough in real life. He could be tough between the lines, but when it came to Ayuk, he should have said, "You're showing me up? You're showing up, Kyle? You're showing up the Niners? You're out of here. And we're not going to give you what you want." They did give him what he wanted. They reinforced all that crummy behavior. You're going to Jacksonville or you're going to Washington. We don't want your face here because you're not a 49er. And I believe the season fell apart because John Lynch was not strong with Ayuk, and the whole team saw it. And I'm going to tell you something else. John Lynch rewarded people who can't play. He allowed the left tackle also to sit out. Knowing he's older, he gave him everything he wanted at a long extension. How long is he going to play with that extension? He couldn't even play all the games this season. Now, I know he had a personal tragedy, and I'm so sorry, but Trent Williams is hurt and he can't play. He rewarded McCaffrey, who was hurt, and I wonder if they knew he was hurt. So you got Trent Williams sitting on the couch, you got McCaffrey sitting on the couch, and you got the big mouth wide receiver Ayuk sitting on the couch. How many millions of dollars has John Lynch given for people not to play? To not play.
Yeah.
This is not a strong leader, Ricky.
Guys who weren't practicing, guys who were sitting out, guys who were strong arming the organization.
Yeah. And so the reputation they must have, the Niners among agents, is you can get over on John Lynch. You can get what you want. Just throw a fit, sit out, and it'll give you what you want. Of course, you'll have a fractured locker room. Some players will not respect the organization. Some players will quit on the organization, but you'll get paid. I don't think that's a good look. And I think it started in April, and I think I'm laying the blame to Lynch, and I'm saying Jed and his mom and his dad should be looking at this, and they should be calling John Lynch in. They should be calling Shanahan in, and they should say, what became of this signing? What became of that signing? What are you going to do about it? How are you going to be better next year? Why should we bring you back in 2025? Man, I would put them on over the coals, and I think they deserve it, and I don't think they'll improve until they're put over the coals or fired. That's how I feel about them.
As soon as Brandon Ayuk made his grievance public, as soon as he went public with that, they should have traded him, and they would have sent a message to the whole locker room: who wants to test us? We're in control. This is our team. But as soon as they let Brandon Ayuk win that game of chicken, then who else wanted an extension? Christian, Trent, everyone wanted an extension. Brandon Ayuk, the 9th best player on the team, can get over on you and get $30 million a year. I'm next. And I feel like since that happened, you say the agents think they can get over on John Lynch. Do players think they can get over on Kyle Shanahan? I mean, Brandon Ayuk got paid, came to practice deliberately in the wrong shorts just to make a point.
Iggy, I agree with you, and I would
Public
say
and says, "I want the ball," and gets it.
Deebo Samuel gets over on Kyle Shanahan every week.
Yeah, every week.
Gets over on him every week.
Yeah.
That's not impressive. I don't think.
I don't understand. Like Sean McVay's been coaching Cooper Kupp since 2017. I'm sure they're great friends. Cooper Kupp looks not good anymore. They got away from him so fast in this game. It's like, sorry, Cooper, it's not your night. Nothing personal.
Not your night. We'll give it all to Nakua. He's better tonight. I think he had 0 catches last night, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. No, he had 0 catches, 3 targets, 0 catches, and they just stopped going to him.
Yeah, but the Niners will think, oh, Deebo sucks as usual, but we'll keep getting him the ball because, he can get 2 yards on a carry, and we'll throw him the ball, and he can let it go through his hands like it usually does, but at least he's trying.
Yeah. Yeah, look, what we're describing is a weak front office and a weak coaching staff. Like, and last year when they talked about why Christian McCaffrey played so much and wouldn't come off the field, Kyle would be like, well, he doesn't want to come off the field. Take him off the field. You're the coach. What are you talking about?
Yeah. He doesn't want to come off the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the running back is running the huddle.
Yeah.
No.
So what you have is like, maybe this wasn't an issue 5 years ago when Nick Bosa was 22 and all these guys were really young. But now these veterans on the team are old, they're very wealthy, and they're powerful. And it seems like the Niners front office and coaching staff is losing that power struggle.
It seems like it. So again, I want to summarize what I'm saying and what I think Grant is agreeing to. This is a very weak front office. And there are a lot of things that went wrong on this team this season, i.e. Kyle's coaching. But it started with the front office. It started with them rolling over for Ayuk and for other players who are not even playing anymore. And what does that do to an organization? And again, if you have a strong front office that enforces strong rules, you say, we're the 49ers. We're the 49ers. They're acting like they're the New Orleans Saints.
Yep.
It's like they're not the 49ers.
The Atlanta Falcons.
There's some team.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some team. These people have besmirched what it means to be a San Francisco 49er. And Iggy, I was never a fan, but I was proud to cover them.
And it's like, you said this too, there's a pattern. People know it's been years with this with this group, with Lynch in particular. If he'll give you some offer in April, don't accept it, hold out, and you'll get a better offer in July, August, September. And Kittle did it. Warner did it. Bosa waited until 4 days before week 1, and he got it. And I think now it's like, everyone knows you will beat John Lynch if you just are persistent. You can't have people holding out every year. Look what that did to the team this year. Like, they need a new general manager who sets a new culture of, if you hold out, we're trading you. End of story. End of story.
Or John needs to change his behavior.
Yeah.
John
needs to change his behavior.
I also think, Iggy, that they needed a new head coach. And don't tell me how he's done in the past. I believe he is no longer effective with the 49ers. If he comes back next season, he will be equally ineffective. They're entitled to bring him back. They foolishly gave him an extension. Iggy, tell about the question you asked this morning on the conference call.
Okay. On the conference call, I asked Kyle Shanahan, what gives you hope for a better season in 2025? Here's what he said. He laughs and he goes, I'll talk about 2025 when we get to 2025, but I have hope every year. You put together the best team possible, you practice, and you go out there and battle. That's what we do every single offseason. We figure out how to get the best players possible through free agency and the draft. You try to keep your best players if possible. You go to work and you show up for week 1.
That's what he had to say. May I say something about that?
Yeah.
If I were the head coach and someone said, and my season was screwed down the toilet, and someone said, what gives you hope? That's a positive question. What gives you hope for next season? I wouldn't say we work hard. We did, every cliche in the book. I'd say, you know what? It's a good question. Thank you. We believe in our quarterback. Mm-hmm. We got Dre Greenlaw back. We think we have one of the best defenses in the game.
Mhm,
We're going to get Christian McCaffrey back. We think we have one of their best running attacks in the game. We're
mhm.
going to get Ayuk back. We think we really have a good passing game. I would be specific.
Yeah,
I'm a writer. You learn, you be specific. He could have said those things, and he could have said, and I'll up my game too.
yep.
I feel really confident, and these are the reasons. He didn't say that. We work hard. We'll get good
We'll
players.
show up. We'll
We'll
battle.
show up. Everybody shows up. The Raiders show up. If you don't get points for
Yeah,
showing up
yeah.
and score 6 points,
That's what they did. That's what they did last night. They showed up.
they
Scored
showed
6
up.
points. Yeah,
And that was
yeah,
the best he could do.
yeah.
There's no enthusiasm. There's no not conveying belief to the media or to his players. We're going to show up. High school teams show up.
Yeah. I mean, if he comes back next year, who's to say that Deebo won't be here? That Juszczyk won't be here? I mean, Kyle, I'm not in his head, but I mean, those are two of his favorite players ever. I
Okay,
just can't imagine.
Iggy, here's a litmus test.
Yeah.
If those two guys are on the opening day roster, they're pre-screwed
Yeah.
because any team with self-respect and with the highest standards would gracefully part with them, and they could have a Deebo day and a Juszczyk day, and they could come and they could walk around with Jerry Rice all around the stadium and waving their hands. They should not be on the team next season, and if they are, they're screwed. It shows they're not serious about what they're doing.
I mean, featuring Deebo like they did in a must-win game makes you feel like they're not serious about what they're doing.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
When the first play went to Deebo, I thought, "Oh my God, he's reverted. He hasn't learned anything. That Bears game was an illusion. An illusion. The team had lost 6 in a row and fired its coach. They ought to beat that team. That it meant nothing. And he comes and he gives the first play to this guy who is no longer a good player, but he's a complainer.
Yeah.
He is a better complainer than he is a player. You have somebody like that in your locker room, a D- player, but an A+ complainer, you get rid of him. Or you say, you're not starting this game. I got guys I think who'll do better than you, and they don't complain.
Yeah, and it's like what Devondre Campbell did was terrible and it was selfish. But Deebo, what he did is selfish in his way too. And I feel like the Niners have the 2024 49ers have a bunch of older players with their own agendas this year. They never really came together as a team.
Iggy, this Campbell guy quit on the team. Very bad. But he didn't go to the long snapper and choke him.
Nope.
Deebo did that.
Yep.
He choked. He tried to. It was, and because it was a baby punch, he tried to make light of it. You don't lay your hands on a guy. He's your teammate. You don't lay your hands on anybody. And he choked him. Who the hell is he? How was that being a good teammate?
And we're talking about weak leadership here. Like it doesn't get much weaker than that. Like you did Deebo and not the long guy who
Yeah.
threw the punch, not the guy who got punched, because one's Deebo and the other's a long
Yeah.
snapper. Like that's a bad look. Yeah.
You know what you do? You have Deebo go apologize and you fine Deebo. And you let the media
Yeah.
know you fined him X number of dollars because his late
Yeah.
hand, he told him to lock in. You know what?
Uh-huh.
Deebo needs to lock in. When was the last time he was locked in? Was he locked in last night?
I think he has like 120 yards since he did that. Something about football karma and the football gods. Like he did that, and all of a sudden his career has been nothing. He's completely fallen apart since that moment. Do you think there's anything like psychological, like he knows he messed up and now he feels, I don't understand, but like all of a sudden he can't play football anymore?
I've never met him. I don't. Here's the thing, Iggy. I never met him. I don't know how his mind works, but I can only judge him by his behavior. And I think his behavior, this is the operative word, his behavior this season has sucked, and it has not helped the team. Choking the guy and complaining and saying you're not getting the ball enough. You're not getting the ball enough? Now you're not going to get it at all. Sit down.
I think sucked is the word of the day.
Yeah.
And all the different conjugations for it.